All right. So we have a ritual, Rich, where we start the podcast with a game called In or Out. And it's very simple. I'm going to say one thing, and you have to tell me whether you're in on it or you're out. Easy enough?
Okay.
All right. Half day charters, in
Oh,
or out?
definitely in.
Perfect.
Definitely.
New Jersey as a whole state, in or
Not
out?
just where you're from, not just the shore, as a whole.
Well, I did move to Florida. I I go
Fair.
back occasionally and I'll run some boats up there and visit some family up there, but I did move to Florida. But
We'll
Rightfully so.
we'll leave that up for
yes,
interpretation.
there you
Me-
go.
Good idea. Okay, next one. Bananas on a
Oh,
boat.
definitely no.
We're going to dive into
Okay.
that. Kite fishing, in or
In.
out?
This is Palm Beach.
In.
Mhm.
All right, this is one I'm excited for when I come fishing with you. Rafiki Tiki, in
Oh,
or out?
definitely in. Are you kidding me?
All right, well, we're gonna get rolling with some questions. The first one that we always start with is your origin story.
My
Can you
origin
can you
story.
Yeah, I know it sounds a lot more dramatic when we phrase it like that. What's your background? Who did you first start fishing with? When did you catch the bug? The works. Where were you?
Okay. The standard line is I caught the saltwater disease from my father. He probably started fishing me around the age of 3 or 4,
Mm.
Wow.
and there is a family photo of me standing at the side of a lake in a leather buckskin jacket. I still remember this. It was bluish black with white fringe because when I was a kid, cowboys were the rage.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So there I am fishing in my buckskin jacket, in a lake, in Lakewood, no less.
Mhm.
My aunt had a house right on the lake there. Great aunt, something like that. So and then as I got older, we started fishing regularly, first freshwater. And then as I got a little bit older, then he started taking me saltwater fishing.
Mhm.
And my father was not in the business. My father was the manager of a women's coat factory. So I took this way beyond what he had ever done. And I got my start actually in the dive industry first.
Mhm.
I was working as a dive mate and then a dive master, and then went back to the roots, got more into fishing and picked up my captain's license. I have a 100-ton license. I'm able to run larger boats besides just the small
Yeah.
charter boats. Picked up my 100-ton license from a dive captain, actually. We did both diving and fishing on that boat.
Mhm.
And then it just grew from there.
What made you take the diving avenue in the first place?
I love the water. I guess, watching, was it Lloyd Bridges when I was a kid, before your time.
I don't know
Uh,
that one.
there was a show that was filmed, I think, out of Key Largo, Flipper. Okay. That was when I was a kid.
Ah.
And Lloyd Bridges was doing his show, and he was always diving with two hose regulators. And I guess, that grew. And once I got old enough and had a little money in my pocket and could afford it, I started diving and really got into that. I mean, this was North Atlantic diving. It was cold. You had to be die hard. And we were, you know, die hard lobster divers.
Ugh.
Other guys were banging on wrecks, bringing up what I considered to be old metal junk. I
Mhm.
was down there for the lobsters and for the fish, and then moved on from that.
So you wanted to be like the guys in the movies originally.
Oh, of course, every kid, every kid did. Yeah.
Wait, at what point did you, fishing wise, do you think you surpassed your dad in knowledge and you were sharing more fishing knowledge than him? Because you were spending so much more time doing it.
Oh, I will tell you, I had just, I don't know. I guess when I hit that point in my 30s, and my father, I remember this probably I was in my late 40s. My father was not doing well, and he was down here in Florida. I came to see him. Then I went back to Jersey, because that's where everything was at that point. I was working out of Jersey, and he called me up. I guess he was in a residential facility, a senior facility.
In
I
West
guess
Palm?
uh, Delray. He was down
Okay,
in Delray, or not Delray. He was in Parkland. Yeah, it was Parkland, which is just south of Delray.
got it.
And I guess he got one of the attendants or nurses to dial my number. Hello, who's this? Says, this is your father. I suppose I'm going to have to charter the boat to get some more quality time with you. And it just cracked me up. And we had a very good laugh about that. And he always had a sense of humor as his health was declining. Unfortunately, he passed, very shortly after that.
Right. He went
But
out a jokester.
he went out laughing.
Love it.
Yes. Yes, he had a good time in life.
Yeah,
The end was a little tough for him, but he had a good time.
yeah. What do you remember? We don't have to get into this, but do you remember what your last charter or fishing experience was with him, or last time on the water was with him?
Oh, gosh. Yes. In the end, there, when he was still healthy enough, he was living in Delray, and he would go on the headboats out of Boynton. So if I came down, I would jump on with them. And it was a drift fishing, much
Mhm.
like I did with you. And, I had a great time doing it. One was with my father, and two, I was working up in New Jersey. So Florida fishing was a little different.
Yeah.
So I loved coming down, and some of the crew knew who I was and what I was doing. And the very, very funny thing is, when I started to get established up here in Palm Beach, I got friendly with a guy running a drift boat up out of Jupiter, and turned out he worked on one of the headboats my father used to go on and remembered my father. So it was like,
Really?
yeah, it was a very small world.
Yeah,
And
I'll say.
his name is Jimmy, and I'm still friendly with him. I stay in touch with him.
That's very
And
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Huh.
He's semi-retired. I think he just works 1 or 2 days a week now, and his son runs the boat for him. But
What
I just ran into him a couple weeks ago.
what did he remember your dad from? What was his impression of him? Obviously, he made quite the impact.
Yeah, he was just a good guy. People tell me I look just like him, so you know, he wore his hair slicked back. I wear my hair down.
I know, like this. Mine's
Yes,
just like
exactly. And I just got a haircut, so you have to catch up.
it looks very dapper. I like it.
Thank you, thank you. You said comb my hair, and I said, do I have to wear clothes? So I'm wearing a shirt, but I'm not wearing pants.
And that's
I'm wearing shorts.
Love it.
Okay, let's grow up and behave here.
I don't know about that.
you kill me. I have to show you. I asked Sean to borrow his shorts today for this, and they were so loose around the waist that I started like tying and jimmy rigging it.
Perfect,
Works. Gets it
perfect.
done.
I love it.
So what else can I tell you?
Carly, go for it.
I want to know because I've only heard so much about you, Rich. You're like a known name in this company.
Oh boy.
Um, and for good reasons. Tell me how you met Polly. Like, how did Polly become your first mate?
Oh, this is going back 900 years also. We both worked in New Jersey. Paul had his own charter boat working out of a different marina. I already knew of him because the guy I was working for would speak of him occasionally.
I can see that.
And then Paul came to my marina. He left the marina he was in. He came to my marina, and he ran a 38-foot Henriquez. So we started talking. We would share information. At that time, Paul's father was his mate. Now, his father obviously was much older than us. Later on down the road, when his father's health started to decline, I would help Paul if his father couldn't do a trip and I wasn't booked, I would jump on Paul's boat and help him. And he would do the same for me. Fast forward 25 years later, I have moved my operation down here, and that's about 10 or 12 years ago now, I guess 12 years ago. And about 5 years ago, Paul and his lifelong girlfriend moved down. And Paul got in touch with me naturally. And I said to him, "Look, do you want to work, and you want to stay in the industry?" Because he had sold his boat at this point, and he
Right.
wasn't sure what he was going to do. So he said, "Yeah," and he came on board. I've had other mates, but Paul is way better, and it's nice having someone of his caliber on the boat because I never have to worry for a minute.
Right.
Right.
If I can't do something, he can. And it works out very, very well.
Yeah, you guys are a
That's
different level
awesome.
of yin and yang when you're in motion.
There you go. And I
What
think
was
that the yin and yang is a good way to put it.
or frickin' frack, however you want to say it.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you think people would say 20, 30 years ago Paulie first impression was and Rich first impression was when you
Oh,
guys
we were
were
snot-nosed kids who didn't know anything. And we've outlasted all the experts.
There
that
we
you
go.
have?
It's funny, mentioned before, I met with Paul earlier today, and we were talking. We've heard of a couple guys who have had to retire who are older than us, and they just can't do it anymore. It's a hard life.
Yeah.
Uh, we know a couple gentlemen that have just thrown in the towel just recently. Um, so now we're the old guys.
Yeah.
You know,
How is your body feeling, by the way?
my body
Yeah.
has good days and bad days.
I get that answer a lot,
Yeah,
Yeah, we do.
yeah,
even from the young ones.
yeah. Well, the young guys have no stamina.
Hey, Rich, can I ask you a part of this podcast is to ask the dumb questions, to put it bluntly, because we don't know as much about fishing as the rest of our peers, so we answer more questions for more people. Can you teach me the science behind kite fishing and why you do it and why it's so specific to your region? Like, what's the draw to it?
Kite fishing is very popular here in Palm Beach and a little north and a little south of us
Yeah.
because we have so many sailfish here. Okay. And we have a lot of mahi here.
Right.
And when you put up a kite and run baits off the kite, number one, now I've got the baits downwind of the boat, which might be on the upside of the current, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yes.
So we always have current here. And my baits just about always are going from south to north.
Hmm.
But if I have a wind out of the north or the east or the northwest, the kite is going to be south of the boat.
Right.
So now I've got baits all the way around the boat. And the kite and the mate keep those baits on the surface as opposed to deeper in the water column.
Hmm.
And that's very attractive to the pelagic fish, the sailfish, king mackerel, wahoo, mahi. They're looking up when they're swimming.
Ah,
So they see that bait struggling on the surface. That's like ringing the dinner bell.
got it.
So it's very popular here. When I fished up in Jersey, I saw kite fishing maybe once or twice the entire time I was up there. I know they do it a little bit up out of Massachusetts and sometimes New York for bluefin tuna.
Mhm.
But South Florida is really the home of kite fishing.
I know, we
Uh,
saw some a little bit in the Keys when we were there a couple weeks ago, but it was more of the young guys doing it. None of the people that have been in the industry more than 20 years, I would say, were flying kites down that way. So I wonder if it's a generational thing or just a personal preference thing as you go farther south.
when you go south, their sailfish are eating more ballyhoo.
Mhm.
Doesn't necessarily have to be on the surface, but there's no question that there's a steep learning curve with kite fishing. And if you don't have a mate that can do it, you run the boat, it's not going to happen. And a lot of captains would just rather troll ballyhoo, rig ballyhoo,
Yeah.
catch sailfish that way.
It's
You
a
know,
freaking art form. Devin got some cool footage of that.
yes, yes,
It's awesome.
it's very interesting. I mean, as often as I do it, every time you see a bait, a fish explode on a bait, it's like day one. You know,
Mm,
and that's something you don't see when you're trolling.
yeah,
Trolling, you really don't see those strikes. Uh, Trolling, basically, it's the captain fishing with the boat. When you're kite fishing, the mate can hand off that rod immediately to the customer.
right,
So that customer is controlling the fish the entire time.
right.
That's why that's so much fun.
That makes on a lot of different levels, that makes a lasting memory for them.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I
This
saw
is
Oh, no,
wait,
go for it,
Delaney.
Carly.
This is probably going to be one of my dumbest questions on this podcast. But we talk about so many different fish with different guides who are in different areas. And I obviously know that there's different fish in different areas of the country. But mahi, are those the really bright colored ones? Is that where David has like that really bright colored fish that he's holding? Was that on Tunawahu?
Yes. Mahi or green,
I,
yellow. Uh, they go by different names.
okay.
Dorado, depending on what area of the country, we'll call them dolphin also.
Mhm.
It just depends what area of the country, what area of the world you're in.
Right.
You know,
That's what I want when I go.
It's so funny,
I
David
want the
posted
colorful one.
I think it's David's LinkedIn picture now, but he has a picture of him holding a mahi straight out of the water. Everybody was commenting, "That's gotta be AI. That's gotta be AI," because they
yeah,
thought it was fake because it was just that vibrant. It was neon glowing.
yes, yeah.
It's
It's an
awesome.
amazing fish, no
That's
question.
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't mean to get morbid again, and we'll touch on the bananas right after this, but I saw on your website that you do a scattering of ashes, and I'm just curious about it.
Yeah,
That's what you offer?
if anybody kicks the bucket, you let me know.
God forbid, I was just curious. I thought it was a sweet thing to do.
Yeah, it started out, I did a few up in New Jersey, and there are a lot of people who that's how they want to honor their loved one.
Yeah.
So we put up a little website, with to market to the Palm Beach area.
Right.
And yes, we'll do them occasionally. Basically, not that many trips, and it kind of pays for the websites we're running.
Yeah.
But yes, I am willing to do that.
That's
That's pretty
nice.
cool. I just never knew you did that.
Yeah, we fill out a federal permit form. The last trip, we, a gentleman brought his wife and two dogs, and we scattered
What?
all the. Yeah, he had the ashes of his dogs, and they
What?
all went. They all went together.
Oh, so he was the only one alive out of the 3.
Yeah, then his adult children. Yeah, yeah. So you just never know. Um,
Each his own.
Yeah.
People of uh, Indian extraction,
Mhm.
they do a lot of that. The thing about floating your loved one down the Ganges.
Yeah.
Um, I've had uh, Buddhists do it. And obviously, I've had a lot of Americans do it.
That's very
So it's
interesting.
a service we offer.
Yeah, it's very
Nice.
interesting. All right. Anyways, let's talk about bananas.
I need to know, what is this thing with bananas on a boat?
No, I want to know the history. I don't know the whole backstory.
Okay.
Need to know.
Depending on which legend you believe, okay,
Okay.
bananas are considered to be bad luck. And the reason for that, I've heard a couple versions. One is that when the fruit trade got started, when old freighters were coming up from Latin America, either to the US or to Europe, and they were bringing all these new fruits to the new markets. Number one, bananas were shipped on the entire stalk, not by hands. They were shipped on the entire stalk. So they would have spiders and snakes in them.
Ugh.
Sailors would get bitten. Bananas are bad luck.
Fair.
Okay.
Obviously.
Obviously. Makes perfect sense. That's
Does.
why now your bananas are shipped. They break them down into hands. It's easier to get rid of all the wildlife that's in the stalk.
Right.
The second version that I heard was that these old freighters that were carrying the fruit up to the new markets, the old fruit freighters were not in the best shape. If one sank, the cargo holds would break open, the bananas would float to the surface.
Mm.
The next boat that came by would see all these banana stalks floating around. See, bananas are bad luck. So those were the two versions where the whole thing got started. Now, I like it. It's a funny story. I tell my customers about it. And if we're having an off day, we can blame it on the bananas that you brought, that kind of thing.
Definitely.
But I will tell you, I think I might have told you this story already. I don't know if I did or not. When I was fishing out in New Jersey, we were fishing one spring for the winter flounder. And to catch winter flounder, we stay in the bay, and there'll be a whole fleet of boats right there.
Mhm.
And winter flounder fishing is very tide and temperature dependent. So we're anchored up, we're not catching anything, and the head of the charter goes into the cabin and he comes out holding a bunch of bananas. Okay, instant out. I could say,
Mhm.
see, this is no good. This is why we're not catching bananas. We got to get rid of these bananas. See that boat over there? It was a buddy I knew. He said, take your bananas and throw them at his boat. We'll get rid of this bad juju.
Ambush.
So he throws the bananas, and this is a guy that clearly has spent more time behind a desk than on the ball field, because when he threw the bananas, they went up straight up in the air, but they landed right next to my boat.
Oh God.
But the cell phone that was in his pocket, that launched right out the back of the boat. And I turned to him and I said, see, I told you bananas are bad luck.
And
I'll say.
they were already on the boat before, right?
Yeah. So the water temperature was about 35 degrees, and he wanted me to go in and get his phone. I said, no, that's not
He
happening.
asked you to get it?
Yeah, yeah. He wanted me to jump in the water because he knew I was a diver. I said, nope, 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 not happening.
Doesn't work like that, buddy.
Nope. So we pulled the anchor, we retrieved the bananas, and then I motored over to my buddy's boat and we lobbed the bananas on his deck. And you could just see his eyes get huge when the bananas came on his boat, and we got out of there.
We got out of there.
So it's a fun story. We tell our customers about it. Um, I have been on boats in Latin America where they think it's very, very funny because they always carry bananas on their boats. Down there, bananas are a staple.
Right.
Mate doesn't have anything else to eat. He's going to eat bananas.
Right.
And I've had days where, we're catching fish and the mate walks out of the cabin eating bananas. So it's a U.S. superstition.
I know, Rich, I was on a charter with my grandparents the other day, and my grandma, midway through the charter, we had pulled out 3 reds down in Oriental, North Carolina, and she pulls out an entire bundle of bananas. I was like, "Grandma Elle, you can't have those on here." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "They're bad luck." She goes, "We just caught 3 reds."
Uh-huh. You never know. Like I said, it gives you an easy out if you're having a bad day.
Exactly.
There you
Exactly.
You're in
go.
Always blaming on the wives' tale.
you're in Orient, North Carolina?
I was, yeah, I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, so we just did the little drive down and went on a
Gotcha. I was there. When I ran my boat down, we overnighted in Orient. Nice
How was
town.
that?
Yeah.
Did you go out fishing at all or no?
No, I had a fire up my butt. I couldn't wait to get the boat down to Florida and start working down
I
here. I
got you.
should have. I always regretted that. This is like 12 years ago. I really wish I had fished my way down, but we had a couple of days of not nice weather, so we took the intercoastal. We did 2 days on the outside, 2 days on the inside, and then 2 days on the outside.
Right.
In retrospect, yeah, I should have fished my way down, but you know,
Do you see that happening at any other point in your future?
probably not.
Maybe down?
The boat's going to stay down here. I'll either fish here or I'll fish up in New Jersey. You
That's
know,
fair. Do
yeah.
you have a dream bucket list trip? I know that you travel all around. You go to Nicaragua and Panama and whatnot, and
We do every year. We do a tropical trip. This year we're looking at the Galapagos or Loreto, Mexico, and we haven't really nailed that down yet.
can I ask you what the draw I have 2 questions about the Galapagos. 1, is it a highly fished area?
No,
No. And 2, how well received are you guys as fishermen going there? Because I
oh,
feel
they love,
like fishermen have a they do?
oh yeah, they love us there.
I feel
We're bringing in money. We're income, so they love us for our money. I've met some. Would be my second trip there. Very nice people, pretty good infrastructure. We go to an island called San Cristobal
Mhm.
that has just the one tiny corner of the island is developed. The rest of the island is not developed at all. It's just mountainous. And we'll fish say 3 days and one day for touring. We see the giant tortoises, and there's an extinct volcano that the early explorers used as a source of fresh water.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a different thing to see.
Yeah, it's very, very niche. My
Well,
grandma went there for just wildlife photography, so I know a lot of people travel there just for photography and conservation and a lot of ethical purposes, so I wondered how well received fishermen were.
Oh yeah,
You guys are
no,
your conservationists in your own right.
yeah, no. We have a very good time there. Um, what we do is we fly into Guayaquil, Ecuador, overnight there, then
Mm,
fly the next morning to San Cristobal.
got it.
I don't know if we'll get there this year. I offered it to David.
I know.
Couple buddies are still kicking it around, and we're also looking at Loreto, Mexico, which is on part of Baja California, and we'll fish the Gulf of Mexico there. But we'll come up with something.
That's awesome. I love that you do that every year.
Yeah, that's fun.
give us your craziest fishing story.
Oh, I
You've
don't
got to
have it.
have one.
Nah, the craziest fishing story.
Something wild that's happened. Something wild happens on our charters for crying out loud with you, and I've been on 2.
No, we're perfectly, meek and mild mannered, and nothing crazy ever happened.
Meek and mild-mannered is not the gist that I got, and it was a blast because of it.
Uh, I don't know any crazy stories. We just, try and have a good time and try and get the
That's it.
customers to have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah,
Do you get a lot of kid clients?
tons,
Tons? I
tons of kids.
Why
Yes,
do you think that? Because I can see that for you, but why do you think you get so many kids?
I don't know. I think that part of it is my website and Facebook. I post a lot of kid photos,
Yeah.
and I am perfectly happy with a boatload of kids. I want to fill the boat. I know there are guys that don't want to take kids. I have a great time fishing with kids.
Right.
Um, and I promote it. We promote it as a family business, a family outing. Um, and I've been down here 12 years. When I started fishing down here, I had little kids coming on the boat, and they're still coming each year to come visit their grandparents or the family home. But now these same kids are in college.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I've
Cool.
been
That's
fishing with the
awesome.
same kids all these years. Yeah. So that's really fun. Now these little kids who came on the boat are now as big or bigger than me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Were you a
Yeah.
lot
So,
of their first times?
oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I have a bunch of kids that I have good relations with them and their parents. And the parents will just come and dump them on the boat,
Right.
pick them up when the trip is over,
Yeah,
you
that's I
I love
that
that.
kind of thing. Yeah.
What are some of your biggest tips since you have so many first timers, especially kids? What are some of your biggest tips for first timers getting out on the water?
Uh, get some sleep the night before.
Take your bonine.
Take your bonine. Um, listen to Paul and me. Don't do anything stupid. Don't pick up the knives. Watch out for the gaffs.
easy enough.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
Rich, I have been living on bonine every single trip. I'm not
So,
even one the night before, one the morning of. Like
yeah.
it's fine. I wish I had an IV drip of it.
Yeah. Uh, people know about Dramamine. Not a lot of people know about bonine.
Do
We
you know what?
talked about that in our office.
Do you know
Yeah.
what's so funny is I went on a charter and I took Dramamine instead because I wanted to see the difference. I don't know if it was just me, it might have been an off day or something. I got on the boat within an hour. My vision went black, my entire body went limp, and I had to lay down and I took a 4-hour nap on the charter. It was wildly embarrassing.
Dramamine will knock you out. Bonnie is the non-drowsy version. And yeah,
I know, I want to get sponsored by them at some point.
me too.
Well,
As
well, if
much
we
as I
get
promote
sponsored,
them,
you let us know, and if we get sponsored, we'll let you know.
okay, as much as I promote Bonnie, I should be sponsored.
You should.
Same with Delaney.
Yeah,
I know. I go on like 5-minute tangents all the time in the office. Everybody's probably sick about hearing all about it now.
cool.
Ugh.
Love it.
What else?
All right. I think that's about it. Do you have what are some things you're looking forward to for next season?
Well, we just put in new radar. We just put in a new enclosure that's going to be installed in the next week or two. So the boat's going to look real pretty. We start fishing seriously next week.
Okay.
And I just hope that the weather behaves, and we have a good season, you
What
know.
does the kickstart of season look like as it ramps up? Like how are days out on the water compared to a month down the line?
Well, we've had horrible weather down here. Uh, September, October was incredibly rainy and windy.
Right.
So there was not very much fishing going on. And literally tons and tons of water, so much so that they had to start dumping water from Lake Okeechobee, which affects our inshore fishing. Now that is tapering off, the water's coming back to the right color. We're experiencing a cold front tonight into tomorrow. It's going to get down into the low 60s, maybe high 50s, which for us is frigid. And that's great because we get these cold fronts. It starts pushing all the pelagic fish down out of the Carolinas and Georgia
Mm-hmm.
and Florida. So I want to see it real cold and windy up in the Northeast and the middle of the eastern seaboard, and nice and mild down here. And that'll drive the fish and the tourists down
You
to
know,
this area.
Rich, I just thought of a fun TV show idea. If we put if we put some of the most well-researched guides, you being included, just everything that you study, everything that goes into a day, everything that you know about what is going on with nature to be so in tune that you're able to give people a good day on the water, predict it as best as you can. If we put you up against a regular meteorologist, who would predict the weather better?
Or- I don't know who would predict the weather better, but I know who could predict the fishing better.
There we go.
Fair enough. I think
Yeah,
you might have the former as well.
I don't know about that. I get caught sometimes.
I would be
Um,
curious to see that.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
also, can you real quick give the people a dose of what a day out with you and Polly looks like? Obviously, your goal is to put people on fish. We know that. But what's the atmosphere like on the boat? I can speak on it, but what do you feel like you guys provide at Tuna Wahoo?
Well, our day starts, for the normal charter, we're going to be on the boat by 5:15, 5:30. Get the boat set up so that when the customers show up, there's no surprises.
Hmm.
Want all the bait ready, want all the equipment ready. If anything has to be fixed, let's find it at 5:30 rather than at 7:30 when the customers show up. And having done that, Paul and I are now in a good position to be entertainers, to be educators,
That you are.
because we're getting people, their experience level varies. A lot of them are first timers. And we want to make sure that they have a good time. So there's more to a good time than, yeah, I want to find fish and I want them to catch fish. But like I mentioned before, and I want them getting hurt. Don't pick up a knife. Don't get stuck on a gaff. Don't get spined by some of the fish we catch. So, in that sense, we're very hands on. We want to keep people out of trouble.
Right.
If left to their own devices, people will get in trouble. And we try and teach them about the area, um, the natural history of the area, the history of the area. Palm Beach has a lot of history to it. So when we're
Yeah.
drifting up the coast, we'll point out certain houses, certain properties, like we did with you, showed you Mar-Lago, showed you the Breakers, two very old historic properties.
Hmm.
The Dodge estate, the original car manufacturer right on the beach there. So there's a lot of history. You know, Given who we have, we'll find something to entertain them.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, if they're into hunting, we're going to talk to them about hunting. If they're into fishing, we're going to talk about fishing. If they're into politics, we're going to try and steer away from that.
Or everybody could just go silent and let Polly talk.
Paulie can talk. No question about that. When his father was alive, his father used to call him the mayor of Point Pleasant. Paul never stopped talking.
He
He gets all his work done, but he never stops talking.
It's freaking amazing. Everything that comes out of his mouth is gold. I don't understand. Everything's a one-liner. Also, I think it's funny you mentioned the safety piece because in my mind, I'm focused on the entertainment. I mean, I'm obviously focused on the fishing, but I notice your guys' entertainment and how much I enjoy being out on the water with you, how hysterical you both are, how relaxing but exciting it is at the same time. It's so funny you mention all the safety things because now that I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, they did coach me through how to not get the spine of a fish. They taught me how to pet a fish. They taught me how to pick it up. They taught me how to hold it. These are things that I just wasn't registering that are all going through your mind to the point where I'm just having a good old time out there.
Yeah. We're not gonna I'm not gonna get on a soapbox and tell a customer, don't touch this knife. To stay away from that. Watch out for this hook. Instead, we're just gonna kind of slide in there and we're gonna put the bait on that hook for you
Right.
so you don't get stuck. Or we're gonna kind of slide in there because we know certain fish are gonna hurt you. You know,
Yeah.
we've got fish down here that, are just the spines are terrible. So
Yeah.
we don't want a customer to have a good time and then suddenly have that ruined because they got stuck on a fish spine. I mean, that's,
Right.
a way to end the trip.
Well, you
So we're not going to preach. We're just going to kind of, we know everything that can go wrong.
You guys are sneaky little masters.
We're going to slide in there, keep you from hurting yourself. And that way everybody has a good time.
Well, I still managed to be an idiot a couple times and stick my hand too. So when you weren't looking,
You know, it's a steep
it's all right.
learning curve.
I'm a curious girl. You gotta
Yep.
live and learn sometimes.
Yep. We'll keep you out of most of the trouble. Sometimes you get in a little trouble.
That you did.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta get in a little trouble. All right. Well, Carly, any final questions for Mr. Rich while we have him here?
No, I can't wait to meet you in person, Rich. So I will make it a point that I am on the next fishing trip down to West Palm.
We'll just clip this part of the podcast and send it to David.
Yeah, exactly. I have to go.
Poor David.
He doesn't know
Cool.
what he got himself into. Yeah, well, thank you
Thanks
so
for
much
joining
for
us.
joining us today. I've been waiting for this one.
It was my pleasure. I don't know if I want Paul to see this or not.
Why not?
Well, he was the subject of quite a bit of discussion.
I
Right.
know. Part of me, I was talking to Devin before, and he's like, "Is Paul coming on this?" I was like, "No." He's like, "I wish we had both of them. It would have been so much fun with both of you. So next time we'll have to get him on."
We could do that. Yes, we could do that.
I should have asked. I don't know why I didn't, but I think about both of you often. Polly quotes cross my mind on the daily.
There you go.
We'll do it in person next time.
I look forward to it. I want to
Dude.
thank you both very much. This was fun.
Thanks, Rich.
Yes.
My
Thanks, Rich.
pleasure. Can you send me a link to this podcast?
Of
You
course.
betcha.
Yeah,
And
we
then
have
I'll
to
send
edit
it
it a
over.
little bit. We'll send it out in the next couple weeks.
Okay. And then I'll send it over to Paul.
Okay, sweet.
Good.
All right.
Take care.
Thank
Look
you.
forward
Let
to
him know
seeing
we
you
missed
guys.
him.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.